All right, I'm going to start up. Just so you know, this is Jeff Scott. This morning, I taped for 3 hours and 57 plus minutes, only to find out that I must not have pressed the share button, so I've got a totally black screen. So right now, I am peeved. I am not a happy camper. I'm going to have to redo that lecture, and I will redo it this weekend. The one thing I want to mention to everybody are two things. Number one, I'm going to redo the lecture that I did this morning. It is going to be out there on YouTube, but it's audio only. All right, just to show you that I did do it. And I'm also going to be redoing it this afternoon or this evening. And I'm going to try to do another video before Monday where I go in and try to add some link stuff to my project. That said, let's say this is my project here. So let's say I've got a folder named project. Okay, so that's going to hold my final project. Please make sure, and please listen to this, that when you come in here and you start up Visual Studio, this may be the most important thing you've heard from me in a while, if not all semester, and you create a new project, do not choose Windows Forms app.NET Framework. Rather, choose Windows Forms app like that. Give it a name, so I'll call it Final. And whoops, I will back up and tell it that I want it to be saved in this folder that's called Project. Select the folder. You have to do that because you don't get down here the frameworks anymore. Instead, you click Next, and then you want to choose .NET 7, Standard Team Support, and click Create. Now, this is squirrely. I'm warning you right now, this is squirrely the way that it works. What do I mean? I'm going to show you. First of all, as you can see, it takes longer to load. And it acts strangely. When I did it this morning, I had nothing in my toolbox. I had to reset my toolbox twice before it worked. Then when this finally did come up this morning, I'm going to show you quickly what the project is that I did do for everybody. All right. But what happened was, as an example, assume this is my project and I put a button on it. All right. Very simple. I know this isn't what we would do, but you get it. And I'm going to come in here, and all I'm going to do is on this button, when you double click it, again, it takes a while for it to come up. I'm just going to say application.exit, which is a way that we've been ending our programs. .exit. Okay, so I do a file save. I run the program. I click exit once it finally does decide it wants to run, and boom. You're like, well, that isn't bad. Yeah, but when I come back to design, half the time, either it doesn't come back. If you get this error, I don't know what that error is. I haven't investigated it. I will save it so I can look it up later. All right. But what you have to do then is to do another file, save all, exit the program, and then start the program up again by clicking on your project folder, whatever you called it, clicking in there, and then clicking on your solution file. Now it should be back up there then. Now it should come up and be back again. This morning I built my entire interface, ran it, and then all of a sudden it was gone. So I don't like having to do this without the .NET framework. Doing it with the .NET framework, it looked like there were many pages of instructions you had to go through. Now when I save it, it's there. And I can go back and forth between my code window and the program. All right, but just to show you, because I want to prove this to you, this thing I created this morning called Link Demo, this is what I worked on all morning. I'm going to redo it because Me just going over code that I've already written is not as helpful for you or to you as if I do it from the get-go, from scratch. So let's see if my interface comes up. It's pink. It won't be when I redo it, but let's see. There it is. So it's broken into 4 different group boxes. This just runs a couple select queries. This lets you add a record. This lets you delete a record. This lets you modify a record. And just to show you, I'll run a couple of these. So when it comes up, it's going to be grabbing information from a database, and I can sort that information by last name, or I can put in a minimum salary like $68,000, and it only shows those people making 68 grand or above. Or I can come in here and I can add a record. So, employee added, new employee John Smith added. He's not shown there because his box isn't big enough, but he's there. How do I know he's there? Well, let me show you. All right. So if I do come in here and I remove record 11, which is not him, but it says you really wanted to remove Jimmy Doe. Yes, he's removed, and there's John Smith that I just put in. So I've shown you I can remove, having a little bit of trouble with the update, but I am going to redo this. I'm sorry. I'm not happy. It is what it is.